watch this video and then we'll talk.
Hey Mom, what are you making for dinner tonight?
Now, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the chaos that's been going on in that comment section. And I want to talk about how this is all learned behavior. But before we dive into that, hi, for those of you who are new here, my name is Shayna. I'm a journalist. I also talk a lot about child-free living. I talk a lot about decentering men and the intersections of all of those things from an intersectional lens. If any of that sounds interesting, please like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff. Always appreciate it. Super thanks. And now let's get into the last thing first. This is learned behavior. Now, mind you, I love kids. Arguably, love them so much that I decided not to have any. That is my own personal choice, right? Not all child-free people like kids, want to be around them, whatever. Like, this is just me. Anyway, I bring this up to say that child looking at his mom who has clearly, I don't know if it's an allergic reaction, I don't know what's going on with her, but she's clearly looking obviously unwell, and that child looks at her and goes, I think you should still do something for me, like what, and you're the only one who could, what are we doing for dinner today, right? Now, a couple things. One, that kid sounds old enough to be able to at least make himself a bowl of cereal, to at least be able to do something, to at least realize, oh, I think I'm big enough to maybe help my mom who is hooked up, like has something inside her body right here, face swollen, probably delirious on drugs, right? Mom's not doing too well. Maybe I could help. Maybe I can be a part of this community that is called a family. No, Mom, how are you servicing me today? That is learned behavior. I don't know what this woman's family looks like. I don't know if the child's father is in the house. I don't know what. But within that household, that small clip lets me know that child is used to mom bending over backwards, breaking her back, her spirit, whatever's necessary for the comfort of other people. He said, it doesn't really matter how sick you are. You're the one that's going to provide the services in this house. Now, it'd be one thing if those kids were smaller and they were asking kind of like as a, oh, mommy, da, 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 da. That kid's old enough to know. That kid is old enough to help. That kid is old enough to be a productive member of that community, and that child is making choices. And you would kind of hear it in the apprehension in the voice in the very beginning. Hey, Mom. And then they just fully committed to it. Why? Because it's something that child has seen before. It is something that mom has had to live through before in front of the children. Now, with this in mind, let's look at how common this lived experience is. Let's start off right up here with with over 7,000 hearts. Gave birth at home at 9 a.m. At 11 a.m., my husband asked me, what was for lunch? Just pushed out a baby, and husband is like, hey, so that other service that you usually do for me, when are you going to be able to do that? Learned behavior. And then we got right down here, throwing up and hugging the toilet, and my husband comes in and says, I know you're dying right now, I get it, but it's chaos out there. Once again, another member of the home community that is just like, hey, I know that you're going through a thing that is disgusting. No, I do not want to help. No, I do not want to assist you in any way, but instead I would like for you to wrap this up and assist me out there. Are not most husbands just larger versions of those same children that was featured in that video up above? These are the questions I ask. Right down here, my kids would expect me to bring snacks for them to my own funeral. Creator likes this post. You can prearrange that. I used to sell funeral packages. Haha. Isn't this a funny shared trauma that we all experience as mothers, as wives, as people who are so used to servicing? Isn't this hilarious? Look, there are funeral packages for that. So that way you can service your children. So you could service your husband. So you could service all the people that take from you, even in death. Ah! Let's start right up here. Ha! My teenager would call me asking to bring his computer charger to school when I was pre-op for a hysterectomy. Kids. Laughing emoji. I genuinely don't see the humor in this. Like I've been to many a comedy show. I've seen so many like hilarious specials on Comedy Central. I know funny people. I personally am one of them. I'm too tired today. I'm too tired. This is all just so tiring and so very upsetting. Now let's just look under here. Also, my ashes could be in an urn and my kids would still ask me if I'm cooking dinner. Now we're going to read this, and I'm going to read this example of positive learned behavior that I am currently covering, but we're going to start with this. My husband woke me up after sinus surgery and asked what I was preparing for dinner. We're not married anymore. Correct. The right response. But you know what's even better? You know what's even better, having not had that experience to begin with. Listen, not the surgery. The body's going to do what the body's going to do. But let's focus right on under here. My gallbladder exploded and I went septic. Once again, that's not the fun part. That's terrible. I'm so sorry. When I came home, my 14-year-old made Jello, mashed potato, steak, and brought me my meds in bed. I had no idea he had cooked. Positive learned behavior. Now, who's to say whether this person's 14-year-old, if the father is or is not in the house? What I am seeing here is that the parenting that was done here lets that child know mom is a person too. Mom is a human too. Mom has a soul, mom has feelings, mom has needs. And mom needs to be treated with care, love, and respect in the same way due unto others as we would like done to ourselves. You know, a lot of people bypass that somehow when it comes to moms, when it comes to women in general, but even within their own households, that is bypassed when it comes to moms. And unfortunately, a lot of people's husbands and partners, especially if they're male, do not put in the energy that is done to be able to correct the flow that children would go on, because we live in a patriarchal society. So if you are not taught mom is a person, mom deserves respect, mom is fully, insert whatever gender here, right? If that's not being taught, that mothers deserve love, respect, and care, then society will teach them, your mom's fine, you know, we got other workhorses down at the bar. Intentional parenting. And this child, whenever they're partnered with whoever they're partnered with, regardless of whatever their gender will be, they will understand what it means to care for somebody as a fully rounded human being. They don't need to learn that women are people after they give birth to their first daughter and they go, oh my God, this little girl is a person. Meanwhile, they have like a baby mama, a wife, a girlfriend, whatever, then that that they're continuing to disrespect, because that's not a person. That's not a person. This husband's like, women are not people. Maybe my daughter might be a person, but like, intentional parenting. And here is an example of how this disservice of womanhood, of motherhood, gets perpetuated to little girls also. I was in a car accident and my daughter wanted to know if her friend could spend the night. I'm like, girl, I'm not going to be home. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Many times our mothers, arguably most times, our mothers teach us what to expect out of womanhood. Whether that is our experience or the experience of other women around us, what can be expected as women. And so in this daughter not understanding that her mother is a person in pain and in need, she's also experiencing being the perpetrator of taking advantage of other women. And so that kind of cyclical energy is gonna, it seems like all fun and games until it's not. So I would like to hear your thoughts on this terrifying trauma mom humor. right? It makes me feel uncomfortable and sad for all of the moms out there. Thoughts and prayers. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share them in the comment section, and I will talk to you guys later. All right, bye.